This is... Father.
This stain is my father. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take away from such an emotional moment. I love how they have to have it be red stain instead of just saying that it's blood. But if that's years old, I'm surprised it's not... I'm surprised it's still red. I'm surprised it's not full on black. Because, you know, that's what happens when blood is there for a really long time and it doesn't get cleaned up. It goes from red to black. It, like, gets really sticky. That's called coagulation as it dries. But maybe it's because it soaked into something, so it, like, stained it? It is a stain and not... I don't know, maybe somebody tried to clean it. It's a very large space. You could easily put a painting there. Oh god, the ceiling caved in. So this was the Silverbird room, huh? Painting of a hummingbird.
This is...
Have a similar painting. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of that. It's probably a bad angle, but whatever. And yes, by the way, before you ask, seeing Ashley cry did in fact make me cry. So many books in here, but they're all... I'm a very emotional person, okay? I accept that about myself. Alright, what's this? I can't read that, apparently, even though it's wide open and just begging to be looked at. Birdcage has fallen over. Somebody should pick that. It'd be funny as if you, looked over this and it just says, somebody should pick that up. A fan after 60 years. Okay. Thomas, an aspiring novelist, had several books published after leaving the island. Most of them were not received very well, but the detective novels he wrote under the pen name David Shields seemed to do fairly well. They were published in paperback, but they were far from bestsellers. More than a few of his volumes were cancelled before they were even completed. Thomas never gained notoriety as an author. I only learned of him after coming here. However, as I read one of his novels, I became captivated by his prose. And now I can say I've read nearly all of his works that can be found here in the mansion. Thomas passed away at age 36 after completing a long-form autobiography. I can't help but wonder what sort of adventures Detective Kyle Hyde would have gotten up to if Thomas had lived long. Oh my god, he wrote Hotel Dusk Room 215? Yo! That is such a clever way of saying why they didn't continue the Hotel Dusk series. Oh, yo, that is so cool. Oh, I love Hotel Dusk 215. One of these days when I get a DS capture card, not only am I going to record Trace Memory, but I'm going to record Hotel Dusk. I love that game. Oh, yo. That is amazing. I love that so much. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I gotta keep going. I didn't know that Charles had, written Hotel Dusk. I swear, Henry had better have had a good fucking reason for shooting him. Admittedly, I remember what that reason is, but you guys don't, so... mystery. Glasses. 2 upside-down glasses. Liquor bottles. Too dusty to see inside. Wine glasses. Wine residue. Wine bottle. It's empty. Key.
Huh?
What's this key doing here? Where do you think it goes to? Probably the wine cellar. I think I remember seeing Wells use it. Okay, cool. That was the whole reason why I could look at that shelf. God, it's eerie being in here. Here's D.
D.
This is what D looked like when he was alive. He's wearing a necktie and he looks kind of nervous. I mean, I would be too if somebody were painting me.
This is...
These are all novels written by the same author. Did Thomas read all of these? I think he wrote all of those. Maybe, I don't know. It's clogged up, organ's broken, or doesn't need new batteries. This bed is neatly made. When was it last slept in? Is much fancy table, so much fancy tableware, a lot of alcohol bottles too. Typewriter. Oh.
This looks like it's seen some use.
That was Father's. He used to carry it with him in a big case.
There's a paper stuck in there. Wonder what's written on it.
Upon my death, Thomas Edward is to inherit the entirety of my estate. Yeah. If I recall correctly, Thomas thought that Lawrence had more to the estate than he actually did. Like, I think Lawrence had nothing left but the mansion and Wells. Henry tried to convince him that there was nothing left. The two got into an argument because Thomas was trying to rewrite the will so that he would inherit everything, like his grandfather's fortune that he thought he had. And things just kind of escalated. You gotta remember, the gun case in the study, right next to Thomas's briefcase, and yeah, you know what, I already started committing to that, name, and bag. I'm sure Editor Me's gonna play the fuck sound effect. I haven't spoiled that in a while. So, Thomas is the one who brought the gun to the mansion. Not Henry. So how did the gun end up in Henry's hand?
This looks like Lawrence's will. Seems like a pretty important document.
And yet it's in a typewriter. It was clearly made, but I don't think by Lawrence. Normally people, when they write out their wills, they do so by hand.
Why was it left stuck in Thomas's typewriter like this?
This plays out like baby's first detective game, but you know what? I can read the writing on the wall even if Ashley can't, and I'm sure when I was much younger it took me a while to figure this stuff out too. Now that I'm older, I can clearly see what's going on, but... Dee, why are you just hanging out there? Were you stuck? I think he was stuck.
Help! Someone!
Jessica?
What's wrong?
I thought I heard a voice.
Really? Was it my dad?
No, it was a woman's voice.
Wait a sec. Where was the voice coming from?
Hell.
It came from below us.
Shit. What's below us? Shake a leg, Ashley. We got a Jessica to save. Kitchen. Let's start there. She's probably hungry anyway. Richard's a dick. Eat his chocolate bar. Jessica?
Ashley.
It's not where the... What? What the fuck? Was it here? Is she in the cupboard?
Ashley.
Well, where the fuck is it coming from? Dee, you're not being helpful right now.
Ashley.
Dee, you are getting on my last nerve.
Ashley.
Ugh. Come on, Mr. Man. You were so helpful before. Is it down here?
It's definitely coming from here.
You could have just said that. You could have pointed at the door, Dee. Don't be a dick. Don't be a Richard.
Someone!
Is that... Now what? It won't open. There must be a key to it somewhere.
That's the wine cellar, right? Crap. Again, just use the PS4 controller. Didn't mean to hit B. Jessica! You're
Jessica!
alive!
Jessica!
Chapter 5, Secret of the Edward Family. I wonder what that secret is.
Jessica!
Oh yeah, Jessica's alive again. Or at least we found her. Sorry, this is a new recording session. Can you tell?
Ashley.
Are you okay?
I think so.
Can you tell it's me without your glasses, or am I just super blurry?
But I'm dizzy. Everything is foggy.
I'm so sorry I let you go alone. It was selfish. This is all my fault. Are you hurt?
No, I'm okay. I'm so glad you're safe.
Handcuffs? No good.
It's okay, girlie. We'll get you free.
Thanks.
I found them outside. I was so worried about you.
Everything suddenly went dark. I must have been knocked out. When I came to, I was handcuffed to this beam.
That's horrible. Who would do something like that?
Bill.
Bill. Yeah, our papa mentioned him.
Bill did this?
You know about him?
Dad told me.
You met your father?
Yeah?
Yeah,
He's the only other dude on this island besides Bill.
he told me a little.
He was my assistant and is absolutely brilliant. But he betrayed me. He tried to steal the research we did on this island.
Bill tried to steal another?
I guess.
You knew Bill too?
I did. He used to work with Richard. I never expected him to turn up here. I ran into him right after I left you. He said that he'd take me to Richard. I shouldn't have trusted him.
Yeah?
Knocked me out somehow once we got to the mansion.
I had no idea. But wait, Dad said he caught Bill.
Regardless, I'm so glad you finally met Richard.
Yeah, I found him.
He didn't tell us he was an absolute asshole, Jessica.
I asked him about another. And about Mom.
He told you what happened?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, let's talk about our father.
So that's my dad, huh?
He's a problematic person. You didn't mention a single fucking thing about that, Jessica. You said he wouldn't leave his daughter unless he absolutely had to, but the dude's a fucking asshole.
What do you mean? Where is he?
I was with him earlier, but he went off to do something else.
Do something else? He left you alone?
Yeah? Why do you
Yeah. He said he had to go start another. Jessica, about Dad,
He sucks.
he definitely cares way more about his research than us.
That's not...
He said so. He told me he has to finish another. For Mom.
Richard said that. Really?
Yeah. Did you know about another?
Not really. Your father mentioned it a few times. Something about using it to save people from painful memories.
Yeah, he told me that too. He said Bill stole the keys he needs to start it. So, we split up. I went looking for the keys while he looked for you. But he clearly didn't find you.
Ashley.
I found a newspaper article about what happened to Mom. It said Dad was a suspect. You know the dream I always have? It's about the night Mom was murdered.
Oh, Ashley.
That's why, isn't it? That's why you never talked about Mom or another.
You're right.
Why was
Jessica.
Dad a suspect?
Listen to me. Richard found Sayoko that night. And because he was at the scene of the crime, he was a suspect.
Right.
I was at the scene of the crime. Why wasn't I a suspect? She's like, you were 3. You were fucking 3 years old. You didn't even know how to use the toilet properly.
He kept telling them he was innocent. And with no other evidence, they released him. They couldn't find another lead. So the case went unsolved. The false accusations devastated Richard.
So, if we know what he looks like, why... Never mind.
I confronted him as soon as he was released from custody. I asked outright if he killed Sayoko. He looked me right in the eyes and answered without a hint of guilt. He said, absolutely not.
I think he lied to me. Jessica, have you seen your brother's face? What part of that makes you think that man is innocent in all of that?
He told me that too. That he didn't kill her. But
What is it?
he didn't look me in the eyes. It's hard to trust someone who acts like that.
Oh, sweetheart.
I'm just over all this. He isn't my dad. Can't we both just leave here? Together? I'll get those cuffs off you as soon as I can. There's gotta be something I can use around here.
What if you curb
Ashley,
stomp it?
wait. Please, give Richard one more chance. He can help.
Why should I?
At the very least, he can get me out of these handcuffs.
But what about you? I can't leave you here. I just found you.
I'll be fine. Now go.
No, I don't trust.
I do.
Well, even if you don't trust Richard, can you at least trust Jessica? I mean, yeah, she lied to you for all your life, but she at least seems more sincere than he does.
Please, Ashley. Believe in him. He's my older brother. And your father. Okay?
But I. Okay.
And once we get out of here, we'll go home. The three of us.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'll be safe here, right? I'll be right back with Dad.
Yes. I'll be fine.
Dee's just like, I'll stay with her. I'll protect her with my life. Oh, wait.
Sayoko, protect her. Please.
I'm so glad you found Jessica.
Me too, but I don't think she could see you.
She's an adult. I'm used to it by now.
I guess.
More importantly, we can't let our guard down.
You're right. I can't believe Bill did that to Jessica. But I'll worry about it later. We need to find my dad. Where could he have gone? I think he was heading toward the courtyard.
Oh, it's almost sunset.
No good. It's locked.
Ashley, look. There's a ladder on the other side of the door.
You're right.
Thank God this door has a window in it.
Where do you think it leads?
Up. Is there another way
That's
up
the
there?
door to my great-grandfather's room.
Yeah.
Let's go up a floor. How? Yeah, it's simple as that. Just go up a floor. Why not? Upstairs. And then I think this is it. Yush. Okay. Door's locked.
How can we open it? This design.
The other room's doors had one bird, but this one has two.
Yeah. Two birds holding a silver and gold clover in their beaks. Maybe the key to this room is...
Combining the two keys. You can now combine items. Well, isn't that convenient? Press Y to combine them, and okay, got it. So now we gotta go... Sprout key, and second sprout key.
Yes!
They combined into one. The 4-leaf clover key. Alright, let me just double check something. Want to make sure there's few doors. Yeah, all the doors on the first and second floors are locked. Alright, nice. But the next one is in the room we're about to enter. And the last two are in the underground. So we gotta be close to finishing. Let us go. The door's locked. Oh yeah.
Maybe the key to...
Yeah.
Yes!
Alright, it opened. Let's go.
Whoa, check out the view. Where's the ladder? Shouldn't it lead to this room?
Oh, there's Henry and Thomas. And Lawrence, of course.
What's wrong, Dee?
This is my great-grandfather, Uncle Henry, and my father.
Grandfather, do you know who I am?
The man was on his deathbed. Whoa, what?
I remember.
Oh, okay.
My father brought me here. My great-grandfather was asleep in the bed. He was sleeping so peacefully. But as we got closer, he opened his eyes and looked at us. He smiled, but it was sad.
The man was dying. Was he on comfort care?
Father took his hand and squeezed it. He was crying. That was the first time I ever saw him cry.
Oh, Dee.
We have to track down your dad.
Yeah. Where's the ladder we can take back down?
Maybe it's hidden somewhere. Before we get to that part where we get into the basement... Oh, yeah, I remember the Zeotrope thing. I was gonna say, I want to make sure we get all of Dee's memories, because I know in Trace memory, it was very possible to continue the story without getting his memories, and then you would just get like a sad ending where like Ashley would fulfill her thing, but Dee would be still stuck here, and he'd be like, as you're parting ways, he'd be like, "It's okay, I'm sure eventually I'll meet someone again who can help me. I just have to wait." Displayed beneath it, the two return from war. Yeah, okay. Right there's Thomas, right there's Henry, without his arm. The beloved golden and silver birds.
Huh.
I saw something like that in Will's
Maybe.
journal. How long it's been since the fireplace was used. It's covered in cobwebs. It's gonna be such a pain to whoever wants to use it next. Check the back for any hidden doors. Title under the painting reads, "My son, Leonard." This must be Lawrence's son. He must have kept this painting close by so that he could always feel his son's presence. Yeah, he said that his son died in the plague or something. Screen.
This is...
Yeah.
This is a screen. He could watch this in bed. It's such a nostalgic look on his face when he did. I wonder what he'd watch. Can we open this? Really? No interaction bubble? Alright.
Wait!
There's a movie projector. What sort of movies could your great-grandfather even watch on this thing?
Wow.
Home movies, right?
Ashley.
I just remembered something. After my great-grandfather died, my father showed me something with this.
Hey.
It was some old footage. It was shots of my father and Uncle Henry playing together as kids. The two of them together.
By the way.
It seemed like it made him sad for some reason. Yeah, because he wanted things to go back to that.
Dee.
I get that. Aw. Well, I want to see it, so let's pick this up.
Wait!
Some kind of sand. That's a zero.
Hey.
They were invented a long time ago, long before I was born. The pictures inside move when it spins. How does it work? Spin the outside with your hand and look through the slits on the side. I'll give it a try. Hold to rotate. It's kind of hard to see in there, ain't it? Oh. Okay, so I see the fountain. I see a bird flying through. Is that two birds? Yeah, that's two birds flying over the fountain. Okay, cool. That kind of messes with my head a little bit, if I'm honest.
Huh.
It's pretty cool. It really looked like it was moving. Moving pictures are so much fun. I used to love this thing. I guess inventions like this led to the creation of movies. Really? Wow, I had no idea. How do you know all this stuff? It's great.
Hey.
Well, I always wanted to be a filmmaker when I grew up. Aw, that was my dream.
Dee.
Oh, sorry. Aw. Leonard Edward, the musician, scanned. Lawrence had one child, a son named Leonard. Lawrence tried to establish him as a successor, but whether due to difference in values or something else entirely, Leonard refused to take over the family business. Instead, he chose to leave home and pursue a career as a musician. There was no word on Leonard's whereabouts for a long time. Then one day, he sent his father a letter telling him that he married a woman he met in a bar. Lawrence resented the fact that he had not approved of the marriage, so he refused to see his son. They lost touch again after this. Several years passed, and Lawrence received another letter from Leonard. He had 2 sons by then, Henry and Thomas. Although Lawrence finally agreed to see his son, it was too late. Leonard became sick during an epidemic and passed away at age 30. A thought occurred to me as I learned of these two and how they couldn't connect with one another. In order for a child to understand the motivations of a parent who loses themselves in their work, it may be necessary for the child to grow up and become a parent themselves. I wonder if my father thought about Jessica and me as he worked, the same way Ashley occupies my thoughts as I continue my work on another. You said that he died when you were 18, so who can say at this point? Depending on the type of person he was, he might not have thought about you at all, which is unfortunate, but, you know. I want to open. What about this? What the fuck? There's a mysterious disc in the drawer. Oh, let's play around with it.
What?
Why can't I interact with it? I think I know what the symbols are. It's the well in the middle and the 2 birds on the side. Oh, whatever. Is this the trap door? The ladder we saw must be under it. Won't budge with that desk in the way. What can I do? Well, the desk is clearly on a track here. I saw that. So we just gotta figure out how to move this thing. Old notebook. May 1948. I feel my time drawing near. I've decided to record my thoughts while I'm still able to grasp a pen. Today I recall a day from 32 years ago, the day I first held Henry and Thomas in my arms. That was also the day I received a letter of reconciliation from my son, Leonard, who left home after rejecting the life I desired for him. The 2 young children, Henry and Thomas, appeared while I was caught in a maelstrom of grief and regret. I had just been informed of Leonard's sudden death, yet I will never forget the innocent smiles they wore that day. I resolved then and there to raise Henry and Thomas myself. I loved them more than I had loved anyone before. I wished only for their lives to be filled with joy, and fulfilling that wish became my sole purpose. That's why he was so okay with them doing their own thing, because he had failed a son. Henry and Thomas were like a pair of birds who delivered joy to my life. My wish was heard, both boys growing up healthy and with love for one another. Before long, they sought to fulfill wishes of their own, each choosing a path that drew them from the nest. Henry wished to be an artist, Thomas a novelist. I found myself alone in this mansion, yet still wishing for nothing but their happiness. However, as the 2 began their journeys down their respective paths, my wish was completely and utterly crushed by upheavals of the time. The world was cast into war, and the 2 were sent to its bitter battlefield. To add insult to injury, this was also when the gold mine withered to nothing, no longer able to support even me alone. Powerless, I prayed for the war to end, and for the safe return of my beloved Henry and Thomas. When news of the war's end finally came, and the boys returned to me, they were different. My 2 birds had been hurt. It was as if their wings had been clipped. Henry had lost his right arm, so could no longer hold a paintbrush, and Thomas had lost his heart, and with it his ability to trust. I held the tired, wounded pair in my arms, and I cried. I was reminded of 32 years prior when I held them for the first time. I prayed that the scars on their bodies and hearts might heal as soon as possible, but now, I wonder if my actions from that point on were right. I once again find myself navigating sorrow and regret just as I did when Leonard passed. Only now there are no innocent faces to be found, no birds to ease these feelings. Oh.
This is
Poor Lawrence. Is the Lawrence
Great-grandfather.
Huh.
There's something stuck between the pages. A letter, was it sent here from someone? Upon my death, Henry Edward is to inherit the entirety of my estate. And we saw on that typewriter that this had been modified to say that Thomas Edward would receive the entirety of his estate. He had to choose between one of the 2 boys, and he chose Henry, which kind of makes sense because Henry had been living at the mansion with them, so it makes sense that, you know, he would have seen Henry more often. He would have wanted Henry to settle down, especially if Henry, and, you know, take over the gold mine, especially if Henry wasn't feeling the art path anymore. And I really don't think Lawrence would have known how to operate a typewriter. This was signed by his hand.
This is...
Lawrence's will. He even signed it, see? Great-grandfather's will? Yeah. It says that the heir to his inheritance is Henry.
But that means...
So that means the will we found in the Silver Bird
Okay.
room. My father must have written that himself.
Huh?
Because he wanted it. The ocean view. You can see the ocean from
Look.
the window.
You can see the cove.
Grandfather and I watched this view together. It hasn't changed one bit.